Today on our show,
Xing the Men
and
Gaming the Thrones.
Well
Hey!
done.
Woo!
All that and so much more on the brand new Fat Man on Batman starting right now. So, universe building is very popular in the movies these days, kids, now that Marvel has done it. They're the first ones that ever did it. A Viewers universe. Now that Marvel has done it very successfully and made a lot of money doing it, I should say. Everybody wants a universe. Of course, DC, Warner Brothers jumping on board with their universe. This is a new one, man. But we've heard echoes of this before, and now it seems like it's coming into fruition. Give us a two-shot. The Hasbro cinematic universe. Now you're sitting there going, what? Hasbro? What do you mean? Here are the players in the Hasbro universe that you could cross over, like Avengerize the Hasbro universe. Ready?
Shoot.
G.I. Joe.
Great.
So all those G.I. Joe movies. Rom the Space Knight.
Fuck yes.
Big favorite from our childhood.
Greatest of the Space
Had a
Knights.
huge Marvel Comics run. It's crazy that Marvel doesn't have this character, but Hasbro owns him because they own the toy. I bet you if Marvel could get their hands on him, they would totally do Rom.
Yeah.
He was so popular for them back in the day.
He's one of James Gunn's favorite.
James Gunn loves Rom.
Like, he wanted to use him in Guardians and he couldn't.
Matt just told us that James Gunn wanted to use Rom in Guardians, and he couldn't because of this Hasbro thing.
Yeah, like, that's the rumor I heard.
You know what that means. James Gunn going to wind up directing Rom the Space Knight. Because Hasbro Film's going to be like, come on, you know you love me. He's going to be like, ooh,
Sweet
he's got that
toy
light in
money.
his hand. I would watch a Rom movie made by fucking the guy that made Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I would watch the guy who made Guardians of the Galaxy fuck my wife. I know it's untoward to say, but I'm saying that's how good he is at what he does. And it would break my heart, but I'd be like, God damn, look at him.
And
He's
also,
a genius.
Fillion will be there.
God
damn
big
it.
man, titties and shit. Big chest. Here we go. Rom the Space Knight.
Yes.
Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light. So those hologram figures from back in the day.
Okay. bit of a
There they
stretch,
are.
But sure.
Everyone came with a little hologram. They had their own cartoon. The Hasbro universe, as you're figuring out, each toy line had its own cartoon. And these cartoons had massive followings. I mean, maybe not Visionaries, but
Not too much with those. but-
not so much them, but, they're canon. following.
Everybody gets a mirror.
The Visionaries universe gets destroyed in the opening, and that's what starts the mystery.
Right, that's the planet that goes down first.
Yeah, they're like, we gotta sacrifice somebody. Like, lose the Visionaries. Holograms. What is it,
Gives
the
a
80s?
shit.
Add to that list, add to that list, Micronauts, motherfucker. You've been sitting there for years going, when will the Micronauts be back? They're coming back. Look at them. Look at them all. Micronauts were a big part of my childhood, even though I never owned one and never at the comic book.
But they were always there.
They were there. They were omnipresent, man. Always in a discount bin at the Kmart or Two Guys and Bradley's. Micronauts, their thing was, they're fucking tiny.
Yeah.
Hence the Micronauts. But they also had a very successful comic book run, I believe also at Marvel.
They totally did. This was all part of that like weird Marvel, I think they had
License deal
Transformers
with it.
books for a while.
Yes.
G.I. Joe for a very long time.
Maybe even this book, although for some reason I remember this book being a DC title, maybe I'm incorrect. Mask.
Yeah, which stood for something that I don't
Mask
remember.
was an acronym that stood for, I don't know.
Motorized Assault.
Mobile Army Strike Command.
Oh my God, Matt,
Wow.
well done. Mobile Army Strike Command, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Yeah, also no
With a
spelling.
K. They spelled combat wrong. Like Mortal Kombat.
I remember Chuck Norris used to have a TV show called Chuck Norris Karate Commandos, where
Yeah,
the karate and
cartoon.
commandos were both spelled with K's. And I'm like, you are really one K away from being an uncomfortable show for me to watch.
Every week, Chuck and his white friend
KKK.
gather together for secret missions in the night.
Yeah, with their friends Haji and Bandit. Hey Tyrone, should we go to fight some crime? Nah, man, I'm cool right here.
No.
You good luck with your KKK crimes. Did they steal your shits again, son? No, I'm good.
The Hasbro, you gotta bring fucking Marc in for the Hasbro universe. He clearly knows what he's talking about. If they did pull you in,
Yes.
to work on the Hasbro universe of films, Marc, you would not be alone. You wouldn't be sitting there going, well, clearly they needed someone. And they
Also,
turned to me.
I would be like the worst writer in that room.
That's the thing. I don't know about that because you're a fucking damn good writer. But
But-
they've pulled together a pretty fucking impressive writer's room for these Hasbro movies.
There is a lot of thick dick in this room.
You ain't kidding me. Thick writer dick. Now, if I read you this list of names and said they're all writing Marvel or DC movies, you'd be like, oh, of course. But I'm going to read you this list of names, and I'm going to remind you each time that this is about the Micronauts movie.
Yes. Visionaries. Knights of the Magical Light.
Visionaries, a product nobody remembers. Ready for this writer's room? Team's going to be overseen by Akiva Goldsman.
Won an Oscar.
Won an Oscar for A Beautiful Mind. However, also wrote Batman and
Robin. So
he was your comic book go-to guy though back in the '90s. Whenever a
that guy?
studio did like Warner Brothers, they loved him, and he was like, "You do Batman, you do Batman." He did Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Okay, so that guy's got a pedigree.
okay, fair enough.
Fair you right away. Go, all right, smart play. If you're going to do some superhero movies, Akiva Goldsman knows what he's
Yeah,
talking
if you
about.
can't get
He's also
David
won an
Goyer, you
Oscar.
get the Kiwi Goldsman.
Totally. But
But
Akiva Goldsman pulled together a writer's room that will make your head spin. Ready for this?
yes,
Pulitzer Prize winning novelist. Give it a
Michael
name.
Chabon.
Michael Chabon is in a writer's room for Micronauts.
The
The
Adventures of
world, as Lin-Manuel Miranda's told us, the world has turned upside down. I don't know how the fuck this happened.
But yes, The Adventures of Cavalier and Clay,
Amongst other things.
amongst other things, and Spider-Man 2.
But you know, yeah. And that's the thing, though. He is like, he's a comics guy. He likes comics.
He is. He
So it
wrote
kinda
The
makes sense.
Escapist for Dark Horse for a
Yes.
while, and I think he does backups on Casanova.
Really?
Yeah, because he just loves fucking Casanova.
Medium.
Yeah, he
All
loves
right, so you got Michael Chabon,
it. Yeah,
Brian K. Vaughan.
never heard of that guy.
Where's he from?
I don't know.
He comes from the world, man.
He
The
does.
world of fucking comics and stuff like that. He's
World
built
of-
himself up because he's done Lost, Under the Dome. He's got some of these comics guys that I
Yeah.
used to read when I was a kid have become.
But
like
even
fucking
if
Mark
all
Millar.
he did was Y the Last Man, it
Yeah.
would still be the huge fucking get.
Brian K. Vaughan is massive.
And now
talent.
on Saga, who manifestly doesn't need to do anything but make Saga.
What is? Are you reading Saga?
Saga's so good.
Is it
dude.
really?
It's really good.
How
It's,
deep? You're nodding too. Matt's. Let's talk about comics for a minute. What is it?
It is ultimately a love story about a boy and a girl, one of which is kind of an angel, one of which is a bit of a demon, but they live on an alien planet and they get together and they have a kid. And it's all about them raising this child between this sort of Romeo and Juliet style fight between the Montagues and the Capulets, but that's spacefaring, and it's fucking bananas. It is so fundamentally a comic book. It cannot be anything but a comic book because there's like talking cats who always tell the truth, and there's crazy royalty that have TV for heads, and it's bananas in the best possible way.
When can we expect the feature film?
Well, according to this particular gathering of anything is possible.
Anything is
if
possible.
Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light can be a movie, then so can Saga.
Nicole Perlman, who is a co-writer in Guardians of the Galaxy, she's in the writer's room as well. And Joe Robert Cole, who wrote the Black Panther movie.
Yep.
As well as The People vs. O.J. Simpson, which I think a few people watched.
Yes. Apparently it's very not bad.
Stunning praise from
Yes, very not bad.
Marc Bernardin. That's fucking nuts. That sounds like a joke. Like Michael Chabon, Brian K. Vaughan, Nicole Perlman, and Joe Robert Cole walk into a bar.
Yeah. I mean, it's as if you got like
Not a
Kobe
very good
Bryant, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, and Scottie Pippen to play miniature golf.
I don't play sports, but even I understand that analogy. That's crazy, particularly in miniature golf part.
Yeah.
That's the world we live in. I know we say that a lot on the show, but like the Hasbro Cinematic Universe is coming your way. If you ever, as a child, sat in front of the TV and been like, "Not now, Mom, Mask is on with a K," like Matt, our producer,
Like Matt Key.
your day has
With a K.
come. Everyone's day comes. That's what we learn in this world, man. If you liked something for a minute, trust me, sooner or later somebody's gonna be like, it has a universe now. They're all getting universes, kids. There it is, man. Or should we mention, like, there's one, you know what, before we go out?
Yeah.
Yeah, how long are we? It's almost an hour. We'll finish it up. Game of Thrones,
Yes.
fucking debuted strong.
Yes.
Real strong. The ending was like creepy, shining, Melisandre looking like,
Very much so.
the shining woman.
Yeah,
So-
it's like, oh, she's really not hot.
That's crazy. That was good. It was kind of a nice way to end the episode too, because I was looking for a Big Bang ending, but I was like, oh, that's fucked
Yeah,
up.
just sort of alter the reality.
And it
that you're
just
dealing
shows you her power in advance of, if she don't fucking bring Jon Snow back from the dead, I quit this show. I'm watching
Done.
the show until she fucking brings John, and then I'll keep watching. But yeah, that was dope. There was something. My favorite moment. What's her name? The tall
Brienne of Tarth.
Brienne of Tarth saving Sansa and Theon. I
So
cried and I
fucking
screamed at
great.
the TV. I was like, "Yes, bitch!" I forgot that if she was out in the woods, she had just killed homeboy. Fucking.
That was my moment. Like I saw that, I'm like, holy dog shit! Finally, bring it.
And then she did the fucking kneel and the oath, like when they go the oath back and forth, and then Podrick is just like meat and meat.
Yes.
And, all of
and
that
home,
was
meat
fucking
and meat.
so good. Then there was a scene with the Dothraki that I was almost convinced that I wrote. Did you see that one scene where he's like, okay, of the 5 good things in life, you know, fucking seeing a woman naked is one of them. But it was nice seeing the Dothraki again. It was dope that they were like, you were Khal Drogo's wife, like you won't be
you're-
touched.
you're all good.
But you're going to a fucking monastery for the rest of your
Going
life.
to the worst place ever.
That was dope. What else did I really like? We're about to see Cersei fucking go off as she realized. We saw at the end of the last episode, spoilers, that she lost Marcella, but then she, you know, it was so heartbreaking where she's like, the ships come in from Dorne, and she, after fucking like getting spit on and have shit on thrown on her hair, and walk naked and shame with the fucking lady with the bell and shit. She's like, finally, my kid's home. And
Yes.
fucking she sees.
Marcella's the one good thing they ever did.
Yes, and that was the and it was in the after thing. You know, you watch the thing like afterwards, and usually they talk to Benioff and is it Weiss?
Yeah.
And you know they were like, look, she's, you know, she even says in the show, she's like, you know, it was the one thing that made me think that I wasn't a monster. I could produce something that good and stuff. And their point about Cersei's, they don't play her as like the ultimate evil. She's just got her own fucking agenda, and there's one thing you can never take from her is she loves her fucking children. But she invoked that curse from that like one opening episode, one of the other seasons, where she's like, you'll have 3 children and they'll fucking die and shit. We're getting someplace where she's like, you know, she lost it all.
Nothing less to lose.
And they're gonna take on the fucking church, which looks dope. Holy War on that show, I'm so fucking all for. Yeah. Good way to start the season.
Yes, like setting the table in such a great way.
And with a tasty meal, not even like, and also fucking, I love, what's his name, Sir Davos, the guy with missing fingers and shit
Yes.
like that. But he's like the most pragmatic, practical, level-headed, good guy on that fucking show. If they kill him, he's my Daryl. I riot. That man will not be touched. He's already lost too much of those fucking fingers to that bitch-ass king that fucking Brienne took down and shit like that. But if he goes, I go. I fucking love that character.
That's it. See, Tyrion
I'll
is
still
my
watch.
guy.
Really?
If Tyrion goes, I'm done.
I'd still watch.
Really?
I'd say that I wasn't watching, but I'd secretly watch. Because I'm like, how are they going to do this shit without Tyrion? And if they were ballsy enough to be like, oh, we can. Like, think about it, dude. Like, you watch season 1, and at the end, what's his name? Fucking...
Ned Stark.
When they kill their main character, you're like, what the fuck are we going to do? Nobody thinks about Ned Stark no more, man.
No, that's true.
Nobody. It's like a bar question. Like, which guy dies and everything? Oh, Sean Bean. And then you're moving the fuck on. But yeah, it's crazy,
know,
man.
man.
They could make you forget Tyrion.
I
They
feel
made
like
you forget Ned Stark.
Tyrion, Arya, and they can't kill Arya. Kill
No, you
Tyrion.
can't kill Arya because it's kind of like a lot of it is her journey.
Yeah. Tyrion, Arya, and Daenerys. That's now your trinity. Like if they kill
Yeah.
any of them, we have a problem. Game of Thrones, we have a problem. You and I. Problem.
You heard it here. He's generally a pretty peaceful guy. Don't get him all fucking pissed. And the last thing we'll talk
Assholes.
about is the new X-Men trailer that just dropped. Yesterday, I think it was.
It did.
Looks great. I don't know what else to say. It's just like more of the same. Give me the movie at this point.
Yeah. I will say
I like
though-
that one shot where he's holding down fucking Charles and he gets big. That's fucking dope. I don't think they do big enough in movies, but I hear I'm gonna have that rectified soon. Is that right?
It's gonna wreck your rectify.
Seems like there's a lot of bigness coming in movies. I like that, but that's cool. The first time I saw in the trailer, all of a sudden he's getting fucking huge in the mansion.
I just sort of wish that they hadn't given away that thing they give away at the end of the trailer.
I did not know that was something to give. I thought that was assumed that comes part and parcel.
Yeah. In none of the posters and none of the material so far did we know
That he was back.
Wolverine
And did
was
anybody
in.
say he was cast or?
Nope, they kept that under wraps. Which, like, just give me a thing I didn't know was going to happen.
Yeah, it got everybody excited.
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand what the excitement. I was excited just like, yeah, it's Wolverine, he better be there. But apparently he was not promised. So
No.
that's what the big deal is.
Right. And save something. Save something for me. Save something for the guys who show up.
And it takes place in the 80s, this movie. So this could be Weapon X Wolverine.
It could be Weapon X Wolverine.
So when you see him for the first, like in that shot at the end of the trailer, when you see those, it could be wet him out the water and shit with the
could
fucking
be.
badass. What do you got, Matt? What do you know?
Well, I don't know anything. Well, I don't know anything. But the last time
You heard it here first, folks. Matt doesn't know anything.
when you see Wolverine at the end of the other movie, he still has bone claws.
Yeah.
This should be the same Wolverine, according to the timeline. Should be the same Wolverine. So the fact that we're seeing adamantium claws means that he's probably recently gone through Weapon X.
So then it might be close. Matt's saying that last time we saw Wolverine in movies, he had bone claws. Now we're seeing him metal claws. So if they were following the last continuity, it would still be bone claws. The fact that we're seeing metal claws does point to Weapon X. Could be cool. Didn't they do Weapon X in one of the Wolverine movies?
Well, they did
A version of it?
It was like X-Men 2. We saw like Alkali Lake and all that shit.
Yeah.
But didn't they ever do it did they ever do it in one of the Wolverine solo movies or anything? So just as flashbacks in
Yeah.
X-Men 2? For my money, I think X-Men 2 is my favorite X-Men movie still.
It's really strong.
The opening with Nightcrawler bamphing through the White House is fantastic. And you got to give credit. They did this years before Marvel was even near the canvas at this point. But yeah, I like the X-Men movie, but the third act, they fucking takes place in a gift shop. Like, it looks like they ran out of money at a certain point. They'll like just knock over some fucking Statue of Liberty trinkets and shit.
It's all fine.
Second one though, man, they were like, fucking take the money. And you see it. It's like on the fucking screen. So good, that movie.
And then the problem with X-Men 3 is that it wasn't Dark Phoenix.
It's close. Like, not close, but a Dark Phoenix-y thing.
Right. Is standing
I
around
don't
for
mind
half
that movie, though. Some people are like, fuck that movie, man. What's his name directed? They don't like him.
Brett Ratner.
Yeah, they're like, fucking Brett Ratner. I thought he did a good job. I like that movie. And I know a lot, right now, I lost credibility on the internet. People are like, fuck you, fucking Kevin Smith, like you fucking third X-Men. I did. Fine. I think it's watchable, and I've watched it again fairly recently.
Yeah,
You know what? It is fucking watchable.
Zach Penn, who wrote X-Men 3, created Alphas, the show that I wrote for.
Right on.
And, he said, listen, I know we get a lot of shit for that. It's like, but if you think about that movie, if I told you the things that happened in it, remember when that happened? Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Remember when that happened? It's not so bad.
Yeah.
Then when Magneto breaks Mystique out of that truck, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, there's more that's cool in that movie than you remember. He's like, yes, it's a problem that Famke Janssen stands there for 45 minutes in the woods just waiting for something to happen.
Just doing that starey thing.
He's like, yeah, I'm not saying there's not problems with it.
But come on, isn't it dope when she's fucking like, when Wolverine has to get to her and he's breaking down and regenerating, Jane, and then he has to, spoilers, he has to fucking take her out.
Yeah.
It's good, man. That's a good flick. A lot of
There's
people
parts
are
of
like,
that movie
come
that
on,
work
it ain't
really well.
Bryan Singer and shit like that. Neither was X-Men First Class.
Nope.
And that's also a good flick. That may be my second favorite X-Men flick, I think. I mean, if you don't count Deadpool. I think it would go X-Men 2 for me and then X-Men First Class. If
That's
you
fair.
include Deadpool, then X-Men 2.
Although,
Deadpool rules all.
Like, and as much as I think that the first X-Men doesn't quite work all the time, the balls to open that movie in a concentration camp.
Yeah. Crazy.
Like, by the way, here's our big superhero play, Nazis
Yeah.
and children and death.
And by the second one, they're like, the whole thing's an allegory for being gay. Remember the scene where they're just like, have you tried not being a mutant? Like, this is ballsy. Those are ballsy movies. They were trying to do something that, like, now people take for granted. Oh, they have to do that in a comic book movie. It has to play real world stakes and blah, blah, blah. They were onto that in advance. And remember, they didn't know what they had. So much so they didn't even want to test screen. You were working at AEW at the time?
Yeah.
They didn't test screen that movie.
Nope.
Like,
I was like,
they didn't
well,
do it for critics. They didn't show anybody that movie. It just came out. That's how Fox was expecting, like, nobody's going to like this, is going to die.
Yeah, it's
and
too
it did
dark.
fucking big business. It, like, probably saved Fox over the years a couple times because
easy.
they just print money off those X-Men. They won't give it back to Marvel. You know
no,
that much.
X-Men and The Simpsons was what kept Fox aloft for a very long while. For a
After
while, it was Star Wars.
years, yeah. That was all his. He got to keep most of that money. They got a distribution fee for the second two. Star Wars, I think they split, but like his deal was like, I own Empire, I own Jedi.
Yep.
So they got a distribution fee, but he was like, he had that little stick at the table in Vegas where you pull people's chips, and he pulled them all to him.
Yeah, so you know what? The bed sheets your kid is, that belongs to me. And the Kenner dolls, those belong to me.
That dude was smart enough. I don't know if he had help or somebody advising him, or he was just smart enough to be like, I think kids will like the toys. Because the fucking toys, I mean, as much as the movies were fun and great and he created mythology, those toys
That's
Turned him into Solomon, King Solomon, and Scrooge McDuck, and Smaug all at once.
toys and sequels. Like, that's what he kept.
He had all the money, dude. At one point, he was the 1%. He had all the
It's
money.
mine. I bought San Francisco. Marin County belongs to me, you guys.
Are you kidding? He's got thousands of acres in the hills of Marin County. You don't buy that on the cheap.
Nope.
You buy that because you were like, you know what bought this next 100 acres? IG-88 figures. Go figure. Just those. You know how when you go to like fucking Disney and they're like, you know how much Coke they sell in the morning here? That's an IG-8 moment for me. IG-88 fucking bought my fucking estate.
I like to call this-
the lamest robotic bounty hunter. Like lower than Bosk.
Welcome to Underoos Ranch, you guys.
Oh, why can't we be as talented, as smart as the people that we look up to? That's what I ask myself every day. There it is, folks. All the news that fit to print in a mere hour and 10 minutes. This show just gets longer and longer. But cheers to all of you who I see on Twitter and Facebook and on the feedback here in the show that say, I'll watch this for 3 hours. Like, just keep fucking doing it. That's really sweet.
Yeah, and we'll get there.
As you can tell. Eventually, it's just going to happen.
At this rate, there'll be an intermission in the middle where we play like a refrain from a lovely musical.
It's true. We'll put up some music and go out, get some corn, go to the bathroom, come back, and resume. Fat Man on Batman is at an end, folks. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. That's all the news. Come back next week, and we'll, or next episode, rather. Don't wait a week. Come back next episode and shit. And we're going to share something really cool with you. Probably the Civil War review?
Possibly, perhaps. You might, Rabbit. You might.
Maybe, yeah. Nice. There it is, folks. For Fat Man and Batman, I'm Kevin Smith.
Marc Bernardin.
Tune in next time. Same fat time, same fat channel. Smodcast.com or
YouTube.com/Kevin Smith.
Hey man, did you like hearing us review Civil War?
Wasn't that fun?
Yeah, you want to hear some of our other reviews? Click down below. Take you to our review of Batman v Superman.
And the Star Wars film.
And Deadpool. We review a lot of things.
Because we like things.
Yeah.
And talking about them. Mm-hmm. And we like looking back at having seen them.
Up with people. We're people persons.
Reviewing things.
But we like movies more.
Yes, not people. People are the worst.
Yeah, oh my God.
God. People.